Late night sports watching got your back tight and your hips all jacked up? Then have I got the stretch for you. Hi guys, Dr. Steward, chiropractor from Resilient Health here with a fantastic stretch that I want you guys to play with. So it is sports season here in Australia. The Ashes are on late. The Tour de France is on late, and we all know what that means. That means way too much time spent on the couch cheering on the Aussies. So, if you're anything like me, back gets a bit tight, hips get a bit tight, because you're just spending too much time sitting down watching TV. But I have got a new favorite stretch at the moment that I think is an absolute winner for undoing some of that tight stuff. So, we're going to get into that today. To do that, you've got to join me on the ground. Alright, so we, through the power of editing, are down on the ground and I am in some clothes a little bit more appropriate for stretching. So the stretch I want to show you is for internal rotation of the hips. So in this case, we get a lot of, I'm sitting down and maybe the hips are just rolling in a little bit because I've got them in that stacked position. Maybe I'm sitting a little bit funky with one leg under myself, or I'm doing this guy, this old classic. So we're going to use that to our advantage in a little stretch called the 90-90. So how we're going to do that is we're going to have one leg at this 90-degree position and this other leg behind us. So we're hopefully perpendicular here with 90 degrees with this front leg, and this back leg, as you can sort of see here, is hopefully 90 degrees perpendicular and then 90 degrees. So that's where that 90-90 comes from with both of those. And then from here, we've got a few options we can play with. First one is I can just hang like this. Maybe this is enough of a challenge for you. But if you really want to try and stretch this back hip, when we get that internal rotation, what we can do is sit in a bit of a backwards diagonal 45 degrees over this sort of side here. And I can just hang out. The other thing I can do is maybe just do some little hip circles. So I'm just sort of finding where I feel a little bit tight, one side versus the other. Or I can turn this into a bit of a front to back where I can attack the front hip and the back hip, where I come over this front hip like it's a little bit of pigeon pose in yoga, and I might hang out here for 30 to 60 seconds, and then I can come back over that 45 and get that internal rotation in this one. I can do a little bit of glute activation on this back leg by trying to lift that foot up, hold it for a second and two, come back, and then try to avoid cramping like I am right now. The last thing we do is we can make it a little bit more active, where we then turn it into windshield wipers, where I'm going back and forth between 90 degrees on that 90-90 on one side and that 90-90 on the other side. I'm making this a little bit more of an active one. This is a great one to do potentially before a squat day at your CrossFit class, or I'm just feeling a bit jacked up from a long night watching the Aussies kill it in the Ashes or watching the Tour de France, and I just need to loosen up my hips. Give that a go. Let me know how you like it. And if you have any other cool stretches that you'd like to see, or any other positions that you're struggling with, drop a comment below. See you next time, guys. Bye.